we have over 10,000 different classes as video on demand. These are through various platforms such as LinkedIn Learning and Udemy.
With a library card,
It's free.
Hi everyone, I'm Steve Stoller.
And I'm Shauna Haley, and this is Inside Plano.
Well, welcome to yet another month in Plano, still scorching hot. How about that, Steve Stoller?
Well, are you enjoying your summer?
I am, and that's a good thing when you're in Texas because it can last all the way till November if you don't check things out. Well, how are things going, Steve?
Great. It's a good summer so far.
Well, same here. And, you know, if we think about things on the podcast, I'm going to think back to when it wasn't 100 degrees. We've been doing a lot of discussion this year with resources that the city is providing. We typically try to visit all of our different departments and talk about the things that they're doing, things the community needs to know. And we realized this year we really wanted to dig a little more deeply into some of these value add services. We all know Plano is a business magnet. I mean, we are home to some of the best corporations in America, headquarters, regional headquarters, but we also have this huge small business community and a thriving startup entrepreneur group. And it covers a variety of industries, which has always been really great for Plano when it comes to economic ups and downs, to be well diversified that way. So what we would say is it shouldn't be a surprise that the City of Excellence is focused on how do we serve the needs of all of our community, and that's our residents as well as our businesses.
You know, Sean, it always surprises me. We have so many resources available, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that these resources even exist. So today we're going to talk about that. Local business obviously is a key component of our community. They contribute so much to our city, from products and services to strategic partnerships and jobs, which is so very important. Today, we want to focus on some ways that Plano engages with our business community that you might not be aware of. Our Plano Public Library supports businesses, large to small, including entrepreneurs with many resources and networking opportunities.
That's right. So we've invited two very important folks from our Plano Public Library team who are involved in this effort. Kristin Linscott, who is a library development coordinator, and Eric Bullock, who is a community outreach librarian. And we have several community outreach librarians, but really Eric does a lot of focus on outreach, scheduling things. So I talk to Eric a lot.
He's the man.
Welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining us for the show.
Thank you for having us.
You're
Thank
both
you.
our first-time guests for us. I can't believe we're in our 5th or 6th year of doing the podcast, so we finally got around to talking to two of our favorite people at Plano Public Library. We always like to start with you all sharing something that the community might not know about you that's a little outside of the normal role that we would think of for a librarian.
Okay, well, actually, I'm not a librarian.
Oh, that's
I have a
right.
business degree and nonprofit background. But a little tidbit would be I'm trying to reach all 50 states, and I've been to 40.
You're getting
So
there.
Yes, working at it.
I just out of personal curiosity, what ones do you have left? Do you
Well,
remember
I
off the
can't
top of your
name
head?
the full 10, but I have not been to Alaska. I have not been to, I'm hoping to go to West Virginia this next year because my sister lives in Kentucky. I have not been to Montana and Idaho. I think those would be really interesting ones to go to. North Dakota.
Now, see, it's a good journey. I too have been on the 50-state journey. I've been to all 50 of them, but I haven't run in all 50 of them.
That's what I was
have
gonna
one
say,
left.
yeah.
I have one left. Eric,
Only one to
Only
run
one.
in.
Yes.
Wow.
And podcast listeners, it will be in next month's episode. We will have finished the journey. So, yeah.
Well, like Kristin, I actually didn't start my career in libraries. I've been a librarian for 14 years.
And you are a proper librarian.
Yes, I have the degree, and I've been working in libraries for 14 years, and I love it. But I was an accidental librarian, so I started my career in project management with a degree in business. So it was also a wonderful time, but 2009 economy crisis, I had to make a career change, and I could not be happier.
And you know what? There's a lot of overlap between project management, information management, and really thinking strategically.
Well, let's talk about some of those resources. Can you share an overview of the business resources that are available through Plano Public Library?
Absolutely. We have many people that come into the library and do their business actually from the library, people who write a book from here or conduct some of their business dealings. We offer business kind of services in terms of wireless printing. We have Wi-Fi available in the building, so you can bring your own laptop or use our devices if you have a library card. We have copying, faxing. We also have a wonderful resource called our Digital Creation Space, and those have additional resources for people for audio, digital, or audio, visual, and video projects, like photography, video projects, and podcasting. And that's something we actually teach too, podcasting. Interesting that we're
Exactly.
on the podcast.
I know we have a mentoring program called SCORE. What is SCORE and how does it work?
Wonderful. SCORE is a fantastic partner. SCORE is a part of the United States Small Business Administration. They're actually they call themselves a business resource partner. But these are volunteers who have run a business or started a business or been even executives in businesses around the nation. And there are chapters of SCORE everywhere. But we just happen to work with the Dallas chapter, which covers Collin County as well. They are tremendous experts in business, and they provide certified mentors. And so the mentoring program allows people that have just a business idea or who are starting up a business right now or who have an established small business to get free advice and recommendations. And they can help them with their business plan, with their connections. What do I do next to expand or to level up in the business that I'm currently performing? And we actually have gotten them to come to our Schimmelpfennig Library. So that's an ongoing service at the library at Schimmelpfennig on Thursdays, Thursday evenings. It's by appointment only, so the appointment has to be arranged in advance. But then they give wonderful advice to business people.
How does the library's partnership with organizations like SCORE enhance the services provided to small businesses?
Oh, SCORE, we could not do nearly all the things that we do for entrepreneurship and small business without them. They're an excellent partner because they bring expertise that we don't have as library staff. But they also, it comes alongside these wonderful resources that we have, for instance, research platforms like Reference Solutions that can help people with their business analysis. They're looking at their competition, who's going to be my competition or who is my competition in this field. We have those resources, but they come alongside with the more expertise in setting up the business plan. And even they allow us and other partners that we work with as well to address things like funding, which are critical for a small business. But obviously, the library doesn't help people get funding, but SCORE and these other partners help us to connect people with those resources of where do I find funding? How do I get my, how do I keep records of what I'm doing such that I'm prepared for a small business loan or for the kind of funding that I need?
So you've touched a couple of times on courses that the city offers here at the library, different reference platforms, technology tools. Can you kind of highlight those things? We talk all the time about the library being more than books, but what technology training is really business specific or for those who are interested in careers, I should say, both of those together?
Do you want to start off? Or
We have both.
Okay.
Well, we have lots of classes that we offer in an outreach setting.
Okay.
But I think some of the examples for entrepreneurs is getting started with getting your business put on Google Maps and on search. Being able to find your business that you're just starting out is really important. And that class is also available to be requested on demand through our outreach program. We also have it online on our YouTube channel. A second one is creating a digital store. So we teach people how to actually create that virtual space, right, and which platforms are best for trying to sell the products that they're offering. And that's a really great thing, because when you're starting out, you might not necessarily be able to get a brick and mortar building, or that's not really where you're focused. And so these classes, I think, are great starting points. Additionally, you're talking about technology tools, like how do I just get ready to build something out? We have over 10,000 different classes as video on demand. These are through various platforms such as LinkedIn Learning and Udemy. Both of those are really great for whether you need soft skills or hard technical skills. And oftentimes they come with certificates of completion. So that helps someone who's not just an entrepreneur, but someone who's looking to develop their career skills to be hired in the future. So I think that our answers both sides of people who are looking for our business resources, those who want to create jobs, and those who are looking for them.
So, Eric, I was going to ask Eric, I mean, I technically know the answer, but I'm going to say that a lot of our listeners might not know. LinkedIn Learning, those courses are expensive. And
Yes.
Udemy, those courses are expensive.
Over $100 each.
How
With a
how is that
library card.
helpful? With a library card?
It's free.
Free. Okay, it's free.
That's
so
right.
that is really the benefit. Not only can you access it, you can get it for free.
Yeah.
And from the job search perspective, you had asked about that. The library does quite a lot to support people in that realm. One of the things that I think is so lacking in society is career exploration. How do I even know where my skills fit? What is a good career for me? And we have a lot of people that we help at the library that either are leaving a career that they no longer enjoy, or they've kind of grown out of, or they're new here to this area. They're maybe new to this country, and they are trying to find a place to fit. So career exploration, we have resources for that. We help people with, and one of the classes that Eric also sends out into the community is about how do you design your resume? What are some options of how you format and create a resume? Building the skills and how you showcase those skills. We even do things about interviewing and how you sell yourself for a job. And then we have a regular ongoing program every other week at Harrington Library called the Job Resource Connection. And our librarians and also special guests that come in, for instance, we have Collin College coming in on the 9th of September to talk about resumes and how to also work with the automatic systems, when you're applying online, and how the systems work and how you can prepare your resume in a good way to work well in those systems. So that's an ongoing kind of support program that connects people with both our resources and community resources, and it allows people to network with one another to find out about jobs that they might not have been aware of that are available.
Eric, you do a lot of outreach. So the library actually goes out to businesses.
Yes.
And what does that look like? And why is that an important part of this library service?
Well, that's actually a really key point of our outreach strategy, because in order to reach into the community, we use our partners to utilize all the people that they also know and have invested in. And so when we go to places like the local Good Center or Bank of America, we're able to reach a larger audience than we could just if we stayed in the walls of the library alone. When we go to places that are like Workforce Solutions or Local Good, among others, we're looking at people who are trying to find jobs. That's usually their audience. And so we're helping them get those basic skills. Sometimes we're teaching Excel in a multi-session class over several weeks. Sometimes we're teaching them how to write a resume or how to actually professionally communicate via email with potential hiring managers. Now, those are great offerings for people who are looking for jobs. We also go out and talk to entrepreneurs as well, and we hold several workshops, and we've mentioned them already. Building your brand, and getting your job or getting your business listed on Google search. And those are often one of our most popular ones, but we have others as well. When we go to places like Bank of America, we often are there for their family events, and it's really fun to be able to interact both with the employees, tell them about all these wonderful classes with their library card that they get through LinkedIn Learning whenever they have available. Oftentimes, these corporate jobs do require them to do training. These can count. They have certificates. But then we get to tell them all the wonderful things that we have for their entire family, whether they have a mom and dad, in a senior center, and that would, hey, by the way, we go out to those senior centers as well as a part of our outreach. Oh, you have children. We have all these things to help with your kids' school needs. The massive amount of resources that this library offers can't be enumerated in even a 30-minute session, in truth, while we're talking today. But that's what we share, is just this highlight of all these things that we have.
it's really valuable for businesses for us to come in because, as an employer, you care about the whole person of your employees. And so we connect people with things that can help their family and even with tutoring and those sorts of things in addition. And also, I think that the library's resources for adults are the hidden gem, really, because people know about story time. They think about the library for small
Children's
children,
books.
but they don't always know the kinds of things we do, like for entrepreneurship or building your skills as a professional, learning new technologies. You asked earlier about technology classes, and with the digital creation space, we're able to show people how to use the Adobe Creative Cloud platforms and things like, they can do video projects with I don't know if they say it Photopea or Photopia. How do you do
It's
that?
Photopea, yeah. We teach the class on Photopea. It's in the digital creation space, so you can play with it after the class.
Right.
It's also posted to our YouTube channel to watch that on demand. And again, you can also go on to LinkedIn Learning and type in Photopea, and you're going to come up with at least 10 different classes on it.
Unity Basics, that's a 3D software. So we have these kinds of software available in the library, and we can teach the basic skills and how to use them.
Another important component for any business, especially small businesses, entrepreneurs trying to get off the ground, is networking.
Absolutely.
What networking opportunities do you have here at the library for small business owners and entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. I love that question. Thank you, Steve. Because in our partnership with SCORE Dallas, we have SCORE mentors and librarians that regularly hold every fourth Tuesday. Is called TUES Community, Team Up for Entrepreneurial Success. See how we did that little?
I do. I
Yeah.
love that.
So-
Great acronym.
So that is an opportunity for people that are have a small business, are starting up a business, or even an entrepreneur with just an idea, to come together and learn from one another, as well as the SCORE mentors and the library staff. And we often bring in other guests for that as well. So like we had a speaker about franchising as an opportunity recently. We have some community development financial institutions, CDFIs, that will come and talk about funding, startup funding, and what the opportunities are there. We have people talk about branding and social media, how to use social media to start getting your business. But this is a great opportunity to network. So it's every month. People can come to as many or as few of those as they'd like. And they also, through those programs, learn about other programs that we have and resources like the digital creation space.
So, Eric, I mean, you've mentioned Udemy and LinkedIn Learning a couple of times, and we know continuing education is such a necessary part, particularly with the way business changes, evolves very, very quickly. What I think can be challenging is how overwhelming resources can be. So, we've touched on, yes, continuing education opportunities are here. How does the library help someone who comes in and says, I just don't even know where to start? I know I need to improve a skill set, but I don't know what to do. What would that engagement look like?
Well, I think a lot of the librarians are happy to help right there on the fly, and if they have that opportunity and time to go sit with that patron and help them with their specific questions. But one of the wonderful things that we actually offer is book a librarian. So if you have specific questions as to, okay, here I am starting to look for a new job, I haven't been in the workforce for 10 years, where do I begin and what do I need to do specifically? Or how do I tailor my resume? We have Book a Librarian, and you can get 30 minutes with a professional librarian to answer your questions one-on-one in a setting that is private, and so you can share more and feel more comfortable in that moment with them. And we're happy to do that.
And that same program people can use for business questions as well. Like, for instance, if they want to use reference solutions to come up with a marketing strategy to target some businesses for business-to-business sales, they can book a librarian appointment for that as well. There are, and then some of these classes, like when we do how to use reference solutions, it's recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. So these are available on demand on YouTube. And one other thing I'd like to say while I'm still thinking about it is that we absolutely serve Plano, but you can also get a free Plano Library card if you live in Allen, Frisco, Garland, McKinney, Richardson, the Colony, or Wiley. And, we're a regional economy here, a regional community. We have people that live here and work elsewhere, people that work elsewhere or live elsewhere and work here in Plano. We all contribute to the goodness of the community. So these people can all get a library card as well. And you don't need a library card to come to the TWOS community. People drive or to any of our programs here in the library, and people drive from even South Dallas to be part of the networking, which is free. And there are not a lot of opportunities for free networking in, the world. So,
Absolutely.
Can you share an example for us of perhaps a local business that used the library's resources to grow their business?
sure. There have been a lot of different businesses in and out, and so we don't get to track all of them. But there was when we first started the TWOS community, one of our regular participants that was there every month and used the SCORE mentoring has opened a pie shop. That it took a little over a year of her coming regularly and going to, making use of all the resources, and opened her own business. We also have actually SCORE, one of the SCORE mentors uses our digital creation spaces to create their podcast in both English and Spanish.
Speaking of Spanish, I just want to ask, are you offering any multilingual learning opportunities for business owners?
Perfect setup.
Oh,
We actually are about to start in Spanish entrepreneurship classes in the new year, in 2025.
Wow.
Early in the year, we'll be starting to provide those in Spanish. There are SCORE mentors that mentor in Spanish. So for people that are trying to start a business, that is available, and people can access that through the SCORE mentoring information that is in all of our media. And we do have a particular page for business networking and mentoring on the library website.
Good. That's kind of my next question. How can small business owners stay updated on the latest business-related programs and events offered by the library? Also on that same page on the website?
Yes, I would say, a great way is obviously to come to the TWOS community because they learn and they talk to one another and they hear about all the things going on. But yes, they're on our website, and that particular page on business networking and mentoring, we have an online calendar, and that's a great place for all Plano residents to find all kinds of things that we do. You can actually filter by, and be sure you include a full date range of when you'd like to come to classes, because I'd recommend at least a month.
Yeah, it actually defaults to, I think, just the day you're on, so you do need to make the change.
Yeah, if you want to see like the whole next month or two what's going on in business, you can actually filter by business, career, and technology, and that will give you the full range of the things we've been talking about today. And technology, can be used in many ways. You can be using it for your business. You can also be using it to build your skills because you want to be marketable as a professional and move up in your field.
And absolutely, you can also use that same page, planolibrary.org, to reach our outreach request form. So if you want us to come out to your business and talk to your employees, we are happy to do that. We also bring training out to, like we've mentioned, to the small businesses and to nonprofits. We have a lot of classes that are helpful. Just go ahead to that request outreach button and fill out the form, and I'll get it and make sure you get on our schedule.
And we'll include both of the links in our show notes for folks who are interested in that. And I think what I'm hearing is, you can have a taster event, so to speak, where you just kind of learn a little bit about all of the different library programs or the libraries out on site. You can do some really detailed training. You can do a little broader, right? So a taster, but maybe a topic-specific taster. So the options are probably through discussions with you, right? Outreach then is a follow-up.
We
from
have
you.
created multi-week sessions that are themed on a particular topic for outreach for different nonprofits as well as businesses, and it's done really well for the community.
Oh, that's awesome. So it sounds like the best way to get started is just to get started, right?
Yes.
Just to come into a library and start talking, or
Right.
send an email to the library and start talking.
Right. We love to do this. And we have a team of 3 librarians that are constantly involved in that TWOS community, but can also do the Book a Librarian program to get people hooked up with the resources that they need. And we also have a podcast.
Exactly.
Everybody has a podcast.
Except in the city of Plano, not everyone does. The library does, and the
library
city does.
Yeah. So our newest about to be released, which should be released by the time this is released, is really an overview of the upcoming programs for the fall. So just join us. We'd love to have people
Maybe we
come.
can be on their podcast.
That's a crossover of epic proportions.
Love it.
Consider it.
Let's
We'll plant
do
that
it.
seed.
Yes.
That goes to Bob.
We'll forward that
Bob
request.
is responsible.
Since we're responsible for the post syndication side of your show, I'll send that request back with all of the stats. There you go. Podcast. Perfect.
It's really great to know, though, about these resources.
Yes.
Who knew?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Well, it was interesting
great.
because when we were planning this episode, I was talking to several colleagues and said, this is kind of what we're wanting to talk about. We're wanting to talk about how the city really collaborates with the business community in a way that's a value add, and I was told multiple times by multiple departments that no other city offers as much to the business community for learning and development as Plano Public Library. And I think, that's a compliment to the work that this library does, because you don't focus on one aspect of our community over the other. It's equal access for all and equal resources for all. It's just tremendous to see.
You're saying that it brings up another point that I did want to make. Since COVID-19 was a big, what do they call it? Disruptor.
Right.
It was a big disruptor. And there has been a lot more focus and interest in a small business, building a small business or working for a small business since that time. And luckily we were on the forward head of that curve. We were already starting our small business things before then, our entrepreneurship programs. And there's a lot of interest. The public library is a great assister in that, because we are that leveler that gives everyone access. They can come here and use our facilities. They can learn about these technology tools. They can network and interact with people, and so we really help in that space.
Absolutely. I think there's no real excuse for not engaging with the library. Eric and his team is going to come out to wherever you are in the community. You can book space to work in quiet. There are wonderful study spaces in all of our libraries. You can book a place to actually do your work. You can sit out in the open space. You can get training.
Right.
You could self-serve your training if you want to. It's just amazing. You are more than books. I think today's episode has totally shown that. So thank you both for all that you do, and we're so grateful to have you on the show today. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting
Thank
us.
you. Good
All so
information.
much.
Yes, excellent. And, City of Plano listeners, friends and fans of the Inside Plano podcast, if there are other topics that you want us to dig into, we are actually thinking about our 2025 programming schedule. Now is a perfect time to give us feedback, and we appreciate all of the emails we receive. You know the address. It's askplano@plano.gov. Drop us a line, and until next month, I'm Shauna Haley.
I'm Steve Stoller.
We'll talk to you then.
Bye-bye.
And that's it for our Inside Plano. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did doing it.
If you have any comments or suggestions, send them to us at askplano@plano.gov. Bye!
Talk to you next month. The Inside Plano podcast is brought to you by the City of Plano.